All right, let's talk about the social media's role in the Syrian conflict, because look, for the first time in modern history, we have seen, and not just in Syria, but in some of the other uprisings, the so-called Arab Spring, videotape evidence of what is going on there. And it was no more or less chilling than the video we saw of the 1,400 people massacred by chemical weapons, allegedly at the hands of Bashar al-Assad. Yeah, some of the video we couldn't even show you on Fox News, but it has gone viral on the web. And, you know, these are grim and gruesome pictures, including the deaths of children choking to death, glassy-eyed and foaming, and it was awful stuff. Here now to talk about it is Eric Yaverbaum, who's the associate publisher of Social Media Mags. Eric, good to have you with us.
It's always good to be here. Thanks for having me.
So, social media certainly played a significant role in Syria.
You know, that's why it's interesting to me when everybody critiques the media, because the media now includes very much social media. The landscape of how conflict is covered, not just conflict, pretty much anything, is completely different. I mean, I grew up with a brick-and-mortar newspaper,
right,
and the, Walter Cronkite closing the news. That's not the way we get information anymore. We get it in circled throughout the day, through social media, on our iPads, on our smartphones, maybe on the newspaper, maybe in the evening news. But the way that public relations is conducted now is dramatically different. And this is, I would say, the very first time that we have a conflict where the primary news source is not necessarily any of the mainstream media at all. And also, which is really, incredibly difficult for anybody managing, one, the story, and two, the realities of it is, the American people see information almost simultaneous with when the CIA sees it.
Right.
So how in the world is any of our intelligence, any of them, how are they supposed to react when at the same exact time the average person is seeing the exact same information, which now we're left to judge, those of us not in intelligence, is this credible or not credible? We don't know.
Because some of this stuff can easily be phonied up, and then it goes viral, and you never know the veracity of it. But although I would say that just in terms of the experience of watching these kinds of things unfold, I would say 90% is accurate stuff out there.
Well, yeah, it is, but here's the thing about the country, and you asked the question earlier, is that we don't have to have much memory to remember what happened in Iraq. Whether we agreed or whether we disagreed, I think the country rallied together at that time. And then we couldn't find weapons of mass destruction, even though it was pretty conclusively, we all watched the testimony, we all saw the evidence, we all knew they were there, except they weren't there. So I think that for a lot of people, it's incredibly confusing to discern between what do I believe and what don't I believe. I can tell you one thing, the country's broke. I love the military. I supported Obama. I supported Iraq. But we don't have any money. We're broke. And it never factors into the equation because we're talking about, our future and a little bit of our history about whether or not we're going to go to put ourselves in the middle of somebody else's conflict. We got no money to do that with.
Yeah. On a percentage basis, we now give the military a whole lot less than we did during the Reagan years.
Right.
I want to put up on the screen, it's so apropos of what you're talking about. This is the interview that Assad gave to CBS this morning. Here's the quote. How can you talk about what happened if you don't have evidence? We're not like the American administration. We're not social media administration or government. We are the government that deals with reality. When we have evidence, we will know. It's a lot of double and triple talk, but it reminds me of the old saw of the guy who's caught in bed with his girlfriend, and his wife walks in, and he says, "Girlfriend, what girlfriend? Who are you going to believe, me or your eyes, your own eyes?" And it's a little bit like Assad saying, "Evidence? What evidence?" Well, social media provided the evidence.
Well, yeah, but what Assad's do? This is very ironic. I believe, and I've said it on this network in particular for a decade, that Obama got into office because he was so adept at social media. All of corporate America copied everything that he did to promote an agenda, a perspective, a reason for why he should be in that office. He's great at it. What Assad's doing right now is he's beating the president in social media. And look at public sentiment. I mean, it's not that the press isn't reporting that none of us, or that a lot of us don't want to go to Syria, because everybody's saying that. Everybody's seeing the same polls with plus or minus 5%, depending on who you believe. But Assad is winning at social media. This is the first for Obama.
Let me play this soundbite. Can we do this, Chris? Of YouTube video made by residents of a town in Syria. Take a look at this.
Please, just hear us out and read this well. Get us out of this hell.
The U.S. strike is not a war. It's secure.
But he can't kill our dream.
You have to say yes. 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 Yes.
Yes for the U.S. strike against Assad.
You will be on the right side.
Head Assad down, let Syria shine.
All right, so these folks in Syria who are begging for help are using, quite effectively, do you think, social media to mobilize support?
You know, kids and pets. I mean, definitely. I mean, that's what they're doing. That's a very impactful, influential, viral video. You know, most of us, and you know, in different conversations that I've had in my life with Senator McCain and with Secretary of State John Kerry, one of the things that they both said to me, separately, years apart, was, you don't understand what it's like to be on a battlefield. You don't understand it. You can vote all you want, you can have all sorts of theories, but you've never been on one. So pontificate away, but we've actually been there. Same thing in Syria. You know how much of this country doesn't even know where Syria is on the map, let alone has ever been there, let alone has an idea of what's going on, of a vast majority of us. Meanwhile, we all have opinions, all of us, we all have opinions.
Yeah, it's pretty amazing, isn't it? All right. Eric Yaverbaum, good to see you. Thank you for being here.
Thanks for having me.
Appreciate your insights.
Thank you.